We will start with an opening prayer. Please remain muted. We call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Amen.
We thank you for answering the call from on high to attend the forum. Let us join our hearts and minds in preparation to receive the blessings offered. We ask you to please release your day from your mind and center yourself. Breathing in deeply and release. Breathe in deeply and release. Take a deep breath in and release. Relax the tension in your body and your mind. Now bring your full attention to the forum, being fully present in order to receive and fully retain the discourse gifts. John, can you please start the recording and read the quote?
Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We say wrong things. We do wrong things. We fall. We get up. We learn. We grow. We move on. We live. And we thank God for always giving us another chance.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Isn't it true?
Nice.
Thank you, John.
John, can you please stop the recording and start the video? And Barbara, can you please begin your discourse?
Absolutely. Tonight's topic is the trained mind. And the video that we just watched, I think, spelt it out so beautifully. It's a very long journey. It is a very long journey. And the wonderful part of it is every time I am brought to my knees because of something that happened, I used to cry and get mad and go through all these emotional dances. And now what I do is I start to get upset and then I stop myself and I go, oh, that's right. I'm being tested to see where I am. And if I can deal with it quietly, respectfully to myself and others, I realize I am getting somewhere. Learn to laugh at yourself. It's so important. What is a mistake? Big deal, right? Just laugh. But when you're up against a situation that really hurts, similar to what we were talking about last week, and the discussion earlier kind of brings us to this place. It's very painful that we go through these episodes in our life. And when we have people that are very, very difficult, they don't really want to give up their control and their power to others. We have to come to terms inside ourselves of how we're going to deal with it in any situation. Are we going to get mad and yell and call names and go after people? Because that's the very thing that's going to continue the problem. They're going to say, see, that's why we don't want you here, or that's why we don't want you involved, because you try to take command and control. And yes, I did. And I'll admit it right away. I did. I'm a leader. I tend to lead. And every situation I find myself in, I see people taking positions of leadership and they can't pull it off. It's happening right here at the HOA where I live. We're 6 days from a meeting and nothing has been resolved beforehand. And this is the situation. Everybody sees us differently than we believe that they see us. And if they don't like us, it means that there's some kind of karmic tie that we have with them and a contract to help each other to get over ourselves. So when we say we see something in someone else, that's the very thing I go home and purge from myself. You see? And when I do that, it sometimes isn't finished the first time, the second time, the third time. Sometimes it takes quite a while because it's so deeply ingrained in my patterns, in my behavior, in my lives, over and over doing the same thing. And that's why these people came into our life, to show us what we don't see in ourselves. The monkey in that brain thing, where our thoughts are all over the place and we get ourselves all messed up that way because it starts bringing us into the past and fear comes up from things that happened that we had no control over. And all kinds of fear, especially, is one of the greatest things we have to overcome. It's only a belief. It has no power of its own. But if we fall for it, which we can very easily, we're locked into that emotional disaster. It is a disaster. You cannot, no matter what you try to do, pull out of it until you stop yourself and say, what am I really afraid of here? And be honest with yourself. Be absolutely honest. And even if you feel like, that was so foolish because I know there was nothing to really fear. I just allowed that feeling to come over me and I can't operate when I'm in a state of fear. You shut down your guidance. You can't get any light in. You lock yourself up in a tight little ball, just like a fetal position, and you can't get any help from your higher self or anybody else. Fear is a painful, horrible place. But then there is hurt, like we talked about last week. Hurt can take all your sense of yourself away. You can lose hope and faith, thinking, oh my gosh, this was so painful, I can't live with this. But you can, because you just need to deal with the emotion of it. People say, they call me up and say, you got to talk to this one and that one because they are so depressed. And I said, do you understand what depression is? And they say, no. I said, depression is when you hold back those emotions and not deal with them. And they build up to the point where you're just numb. You're completely numb and you can't operate in your life. To train your mind is an everyday activity. Even simple little things, you're in a hurry, you got to get to work, or you got to do something, or you have an appointment, and everything that is in front of you is not working out, and you get yourself all frustrated and angry, and you're late, and everything's going wrong. Instead of just continuing forward, trying to force it, you got to get yourself centered first in that quiet place and stop moving. Stop trying to think it out or force anything. You're not going to win. What you're going to win with is getting yourself centered So everything, the light starts coming through you again. Everything starts calming down inside your system, and you can get the guidance and the motion forward. You were just to see how frustrated you were, and you were having an opportunity to let go of those emotions. All of us as a human being has this going on a regular basis. It isn't just you, it isn't just me, it's everyone in the human body. You know, when we listen to Billy Phillips, he was talking about Satan, another word for Satan. And it is actually the human dilemma. It's the human dilemma. We have a dark side and a light side. And what do we choose to work with? That's the question. If we want to go to the dark side because we're angry and frustrated and not dealing with those emotions, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get even. We're going to hurt the people that hurt us. We're going to challenge it. We're really going to go in the wrong direction. But if we take care of the hurt and the emotions and the anger and the fears, then we're calm. We can think it out. We can go to the light side. What is the light side? The light side is when you choose to be what? Forgiving, allowing the situation to play out, working with the people that we may be having a problem with. Because if we do it with an attitude, they're going to feel that. Energy precedes you, you see? Even your thoughts are vibrating through your energy field into other people's energy fields. They know when you're sincere and when you're not. If we do unto others as we wish to have done to us, that's when we sit down and think about that. How can I work this through? So what I do when I'm having issues with anybody, or I'm not sure what kind of situation I'm going to be in, I send them light and love and call for divine order. And then right before I see them, I say, the Christ in me greets the Christ in whoever it is. I set the conditions in love. So that means what comes out of my mouth and my energy field, they're going to feel in their heart, because that's where I would send it from. This is how we become authentic. Because if we think people, even the people that don't practice spirituality on an outer level, if we think they don't feel these things that I'm talking about, that's not true. They do. They do feel it. So it's up to us to change our mind about how we are going to either respond or react. If we react, we're out of control. If we respond, now we're going to get somewhere. We're going to break through the walls of whatever karma we have, and we're going to actually enjoy the process because we're calm, we have a plan, and the plan is based on love. Love is the greatest force in all the universes. Nothing is stronger. People think when they're in the battle mode that they're really powerful. Yeah, yeah, you can hurt a lot of people. But there's some karma being made. Why would you do that to yourself? The only response that is going to help every situation is to deal with it with a loving heart. Figure out a way to communicate with others. If you have people that are difficult in your life, pray for them at night. Pray for them in the morning, whenever you do your prayers. But do it with sincerity, not because you're trying to get something out of the deal. I was working with somebody recently, and they said, yeah, I'm doing it, but I don't really feel it. And I said, well, they don't either then. You see? You've got to get over yourself first so that you can send out love and light with sincerity and grace, because that grace comes back to you. If you reflect any anger and resentment and all kinds of dark thoughts, those dark thoughts come back to you. Doesn't work. The matrix doesn't allow it. It was set up to be perfect, a perfect system, so that you can see yourself, feel yourself, witness yourself at all times. So the trained mind is of every day. If you automatically react, stop yourself and look at it differently. Say, okay, oh wait, whoa, 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 whoa. I can make this work. I just have to stay calm. Okay, maybe it's not going to work out today, but I've got a plan. I'm going to make it work because I will learn to love the unlovable. There are so many people, especially those the closest to you, that are going to put you through the ringer. They're going to hurt you so bad because they're the closest and they know where every button is in you. And that's the contract they have with you. You see? And it makes masters out of people who before had no voice, had no power that they used anyway. They had the power, they just didn't use it. And they allowed the abuse to occur. And then one day you wake up and say, I am drowning in this and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm changing the scenario. You can't change the other person. You can only change yourself. It's finally my turn. It's finally going to be that I have a life and I'm going to live it in joy. And if it means I have to actually get a voice and say what I need to say, then I'm going to do it. I am talking from experience. I am telling you, I had no voice. I was trained as a child not to have a voice. You were to be seen and not heard. That was the rules in the house. Yeah. Even if your finger got cut and it's falling off your hand and you're scared and you're crying and you're in pain, unless I was able to get their attention to see the blood dripping, I was going to lose my thumb. Do you see? Do I hate because of that? No. I was seeing a reflection that they showed me of myself in probably another lifetime. And whenever somebody hurts me, I say, you know what? I probably did that to them 100 times. I'm getting off easy doing it once. Do you see? Bring it home to you. Bring it home to you. All of you are so beautiful in this lifetime, and you're working so hard on yourself. But that doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen from the past that we haven't paid yet. We haven't cleared yet. We haven't cleansed yet. Do we regret it? It's not something I look forward to. But when it came, I took care of it because I trained my mind to accept my life that was being portrayed to me in perfect order. Everything was happening because I needed to learn from it. I needed to change my mind in how I responded or reacted to it. So that's the trained mind. And and the way you know you're getting somewhere is if the same person that normally would make you feel like you wanted to smack them 6 ways to Sunday, and you don't. You realize how much pain they're in. I'm sorry, they are a pain, but the pain that they're in, and they're expressing it outwardly because they can't hold it in anymore. Your beautiful light, in addition to the things we haven't cleansed, is bringing it out in them because the light reveals the darkness in others. Yeah, yeah. And the most unsuspecting people that come into your life are bright lights too. And they're just doing their part, their script. They're following their script. They know from the contract what it is they came in to do with you. And boy, some of them love doing what they do to us. Yep, they love being the agitator. Oh, God bless them. My mother-in-law was a prime example of this. God bless her pointed head. But I came to love her and forgive her because I realized the pain that she was in her whole life, never feeling like anybody loved her. She made sure they didn't, I'll tell you that much. And no matter what you did to try to love them, they denied you that because they wanted to be more like you and they couldn't in their mind. They couldn't. And so they took it out on you and made you miserable. But it is the Christ in you that you need to relate to and know who you really are, a divine being, and that people will attack you just like they did Jesus. He was a divine light in the world of darkness. Think about how long ago that was when the consciousness, we were still sleeping on the job, walking around like we thought we were awake, like he was saying in this video. Their eyes are open, but they're not awake. And neither were we. You see? That's why you don't judge. And that's why you don't go after people that are miserable to you. You be the peacemaker. You bring the light and the love. And in the end, you will see how it will work. It is so powerful. Even though people think you're weak because you love when nobody else could possibly love. Life brings you everything you need every day. Some days are just so easy, so comfortable, so beautiful. And you think, I'm in heaven, I'm there. And the next day, it's time to work again. And you're still in heaven if you let yourself be. As you train your mind to stop allowing it to overpower you, where your mind is throwing all these thoughts at you, you say no. What I do is I let it chatter for a while. I listen to it and think, oh God, what a bunch of noise. And then I say, okay, done. And now I actually accomplished this well quite a few years ago, where it does stop. Complete silence, complete and utter silence. I call it the peace that passes understanding, because there was a time when I never allowed myself that peace. I was always running and doing and doing and doing, kept myself so busy concentrating on other people rather than myself. These are the days of Elijah. You must go inside and clean up that house inside you. Absolutely. I don't say this because I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you, if you don't, the pain is just going to get worse because the world out there is not set up to make it nice for you. You make your own life and you make it wonderful or miserable. That's your choice. That's your choice. And if your actions and thoughts keep making it miserable, you know how I always say change your mind? Don't do it anymore. Catch yourself in the act. If I start grumbling in my head, I have to stop myself and say, you know what? This is ridiculous. What am I doing? I'm lowering my own frequency. It's making me feel like a victim. Well, you certainly aren't a victim. You're only a victim to what you allow to go on inside you. The world will respond to the master in you if you take that role on. You see? Who do you want to be? The goddess and gods? Or the troubled human who allows the world to throw them left and right as they try to fit in? There's nothing to fit in here. You don't belong here. You came here with a purpose to bring the light. to overcome your past, to clean up house inside you and hopefully outside you, and to become a master of your thoughts, words, and actions. That guy must have went to the same school I did, because every word he says is absolutely how it worked for me, and it can work for you. Overcome your emotional body because you got to empty it out so it doesn't lead you forward every time something happens. Become the center of the eye of the storm where nothing happens there. Everything is happening around you and you witness it, but don't get engaged in it. Just send love into it. The storm will calm. It will calm. And if you don't normally speak up, speak up. If you normally speak and speak and speak and speak and your mouth is always running, shut it and become the observer. And in that quiet place of the observer, you will gain so much wisdom and understanding of what's going on around you because you'll start to feel on a level that you never felt before. And that feeling world tells you everything about what's going on without a word being said. You don't need it. You don't need any communication other than the feeling world. And that is the clear sentience, the knowing. You just know in your gut what's going on. You just feel it deep inside you. Now, if it upsets you or gets you angry or afraid, it's pushing your button. You're in that same energy. That same energy is in you, not that you express it the same way. Sometimes you don't even express it anymore. But if you get upset and angry or frustrated or whatever, fearful, it means it's pushing a button in you. So send out the love to them and send the love inside to you, because as you send it out, it does a full loop and comes back to you. You will always be blessed. Woo, look at me. 8 o'clock. All right. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, we welcome you to come to the forum and join us. OurDivineOrigin.com is our website. Our Divine Origin is on the YouTube channel. You'll see a dove in a purple box with its wings up and down. That's us. There's other with close names like ours. So we're going to go into segment 2. And yes, so I'll stop.
Okay. John, can you please pause the recording and start the song?
So the song "You Are a Miracle." Do you know why you're magic? What that magic is? That you can transform yourself into the person you always wanted to be. You see, you can do it with the help of all the people in your life. It doesn't seem like a great gift that they give you when they're the agitator, but I can tell you right now, they're very important in your life. You sit in a cave, you're not going to get there, but you're out in life, and let it be as it is. Don't fight it. Let it happen so that you can grow into the magical, wonderful being of light that you are. Thank you.
John, can you please pause the
Okay. The trained mind. A lifelong journey, life after life after life. We start becoming more conscious enough where we start to hear ourselves, see ourselves, know ourselves, start to hear the grumbling, the judgment, all the things that we don't do on purpose. It's just what we do. It's a habit. We let it happen. And I think it was Janet that was saying that when she observes that she was actually judging. And that's a problem I had too. I was kind of critiquing the whole situation constantly. And it wasn't my job to do that. My job was to see myself and what I didn't like, what I witnessed, to cleanse from myself. The thing that trips us up is that we believe because we're not doing it right now that it isn't there. But we tucked all this down deep inside our bowels so that we couldn't see it. And all the layers keep coming up and it brings it up again. And we start doing it. We start acting a little uh, like we did previously. And we thought, oh my God, I thought I was over this. I thought I took care of it. But there, we go deeper every time until we're like the flower that opens fully. All the petals are open, and all of a sudden, there's nothing left to hide. There's just this beautiful flower exposed, and that's your heart. Your heart is completely open. Your fields are open. As there's nothing but love there. And that's what we're working towards. That is the Christed soul. And that was what Jesus came to show us the way, not to be worshiped, but to show us the way to become love. You are love, but we don't always express that love because we still have patterns, beliefs, and laws that we wrote for ourselves that are no longer serving us. And as we let each one go, I did an exercise once with a lady that had a bonfire in her yard. And she said, okay, all of you with your big law books that you wrote for yourself, I want you to rip out the pages and throw it in the fire. It was symbolic. And that's what we did. And I had the Encyclopedia Britannica. It took me longer than most of all the rules and all the laws, similar to a lot of, dogma that we learn in various groups or religions or wherever it comes from. And there was never any thou shall nots. There was no sins that were being brought to our attention. It wasn't about that. It was about changing your mind, thinking that way, and becoming the love that you are. You see? Because that's what we are. We're made from the Father, Abba. And that's who we are. Pure love. God doesn't punish, never did, never will. And that's why the Old Testament can be very irritating because it was just like, oh my God, what kind of God is this? I'm not going to follow a God like that. That's ridiculous. And the New Testament brought out a whole nother view of what God could be and is. So to train your mind is a constant, everyday awareness of what's happening right in front of you. How are you acting today? Are you frustrated? Are you joyful? Are you angry? Are you confused? Are you feeling down? Deal with it. Don't walk away from it. Sit down and look at it. Think of a situation that just comes up in your head. And this one said this, and this is the, and I went, and say to yourself, okay, let me look at what I did. Forget what the other person did for a moment. Look at what you do. And if you feel that your actions, your words, your behavior was the best you could do, and yet you got the reaction you did from the other person, it's time to rethink it. What do I need to do to make the situation where I don't irritate people and I still say what I need to say? Stephanie was giving us examples of how she changed how she spoke to people, putting it more in a question form so that they wouldn't feel like I'm giving them all the direction and I know everything. You see, that's a beautiful way to share. I used to do that at the law office that I worked in. It's very kind and it allows for conversation. And I learned a lot as well. Yeah. Not just that I had information to share. When we treat people like we wish to be treated, we really do turn the tables around and we make it beautiful. But if we're being abused in our life by other people and our life is miserable because of it, we need to get a voice, not to yell, not to fight, but to say what you need. Because nobody really cares what we need. They're more concerned, what? About themselves. They're here to be responsible for them, for their joy and happiness and prosperity. So we can't expect anybody else to do any of this for us. It's up to us. And that's the work that all of these videos that we watch and the discussions that I have with you, that's what it's all about. We need to work it through in ourself, quietly in our own home. Nobody has to know from nothing. We're not dumping on anybody. We're not asking anybody to fix us. We're taking responsibility for it. And that's how you become a master of your own life. You become the real you, and you start to feel so pleased with yourself, so comfortable in your own skin. Do you know people that aren't? You can see it. You can see it a mile away when they're not comfortable in their own skin. And somebody had said that phrase a long, long time ago to me, and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? I've always just had a sense of dignity about my life, even though my parents showed me the opposite, that I was nothing and no one, and I was ugly and I was stupid. I didn't buy it. I did not buy it. I held true that I was not any of those things, that I was equal to anybody else in the world. And when I did my travels, talk about a trained mind, I would stand before dignitaries, and I would talk to them as I talk to you. I never felt that they were higher or better than me or stronger. No matter what position they were in, I stood my ground. If I felt, especially when I was on assignment, nothing was going to stop me, nothing. And I knew if I was on assignment that it would work. I just had to have the voice to speak of my needs and the needs of my group. The trained mind is somebody that lives with a conscious experience every day. Reviewing it in the evening is beautiful because you say to yourself, oh, when I was in the office and so was talking to me and I told them I'm too busy to talk to them, I was being rude because I really wasn't. I just didn't want to hear it. I had enough going on that day. I didn't want to hear it. And so the next day, it would be very nice to approach that person, not necessarily say I'm sorry, but approach them and just be nice with them and say, do you have anything you want to talk about? I didn't get a chance yesterday to get in touch with you. Do you see what I mean? You can always make up for what you've done as you consciously are aware of your actions. People aren't going to bend for you. They're not. And you don't have to bend for anybody, but do what's right in your heart. You see? That's the most important thing because that makes you authentic. If you're always pleasing everybody, you're never going to please you, and it's going to leave you angry and resentful. You have to train your mind not to take you in those places. I just say no with a great force and everything stops in my head because my Satan has no power over me because I won't let it, you see? And maybe it was good that my parents treated me like they did because it made me so strong inside. I said, nobody will ever do this to me again. Nobody. I didn't have to fight for it. I just expected it, and I made that my law. And once you speak it, once you think it, and you practice being it, it will be so for you. You make your life what it is. Life should not control you. That is the shadow. Yeah. You are divine beings. Divine beings don't beg God for anything. Divine beings say thank you as if it already is yours. As long as you're not being selfish or destructive, if it's in love, it will happen. I promise you that. Practice it. It's a beautiful place to be. I want to watch my time. Okay. All right. Thank you, Robin, for being patient. So I'll wrap it up now. Anyone watching this on YouTube, enjoy it. You can see the video, the song, and the quote. It will be where it says more, where the name is of the video, and just keep hitting more until you see it. It's listed there. Thank you so much for this evening, all of you. I am so grateful that you're here, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Barbara. Before the guided meditation, I'm going to read the closing prayer. We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, for your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency even higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know we are deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.
Amen.
We invite all of you to remain for the guided meditation. However, before we start segment 3, if you need to sign off, please unmute and say blessings, good wishes, and good night to each other before you leave.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Craig. Sleep well.
Thanks.